Hey guys, so I picked up this 3 1/4 inch electric planer. It's a Drill Master. It's the lowest in line that Harbor Freight sells. Okay, items 61631, 5.5 amp motor, 16,000 RPM. Deepest you can cut is a 1/16 of an inch. It's a hand planer. It's not much different than most hand planers. They just tried to build it as cheap as possible and have it still work. These are the accessories. They give you this little piece, and it's kind of non-obvious what it is, but if you take, there's two fittings right here, and this goes in there. Okay, grab it like this, put it in one, put it in the other, and that's it. The tab goes down, and that is a little bit of a lift. Hopefully that will keep it from cutting if you leave it on and set it down. So it's a little bit of a safety feature. They have this little switch right here. You turn it back and forth. That moves the dust collection from one side to the other. It's this little piece of plastic that moves back and forth and is not airtight, so you'll get some leakage out the side that you haven't selected. Pretty standard adjustment. Zero at the bottom, that's not removing anything. This is not flat. There's a little bit of a dip in it right here. It won't make a big impression if you stay on the centers, but that might cause you a problem. Is I'm going to reference clockwise, counterclockwise. Your straight edge on there and turn clockwise until it's as flat as it's going to get. Then you turn counterclockwise, of course, to make it cut. Okay, so it has some accessories. They give you this, which is, of course, a guide. It only covers this, but it actually covers the blade. So you use this side, and you can cut a rabbet that way also. It's kind of got a little bit of assembly going on here. First off, I want to attach it to the planer. There is a key right here. Goes in a hole. And there's this little screw. You have to put the little screw in first. There is a square hole that goes in so that it won't move. Then I take the bigger of the two hand wheels. Put that in, tighten that up. Now we can adjust the depth later. Okay, so it has to lay like this. It can't lay like this or it doesn't do you any good. By the same token, it has to go on this side, because if you put it on this side, nothing lines up. It'll be like this. Not that useful. There are grooves that it goes in. Remember that screw we put in? If you wait till you put this knob on, it won't go in. There's not enough clearance. So put this on. There's a washer. In the manual, it shows that washer underneath this little screw. But that little screw has a square fitting to fit in that hole so that it won't turn. If you put this washer on that side, it'll never work. First off, you won't have enough clearance. The screw will be too short. And second off, it'll just spin on top of the washer. They have a knob with a built-in nut. And you just want to screw that on. Okay, this was just to get it assembled. If I loosen this, I can then set my depth of cut. This doesn't move. This moves up and down. That's it. So if I want to cut almost the whole length, I of course raise it, tighten it, it stays in place. Or I can just do a little bit. They give you this bar for cutting rabbets. You can set the depth that you want to go, and as the saw cuts on the edge, this will go down and meet the wood, so you'll know you're at the right depth. And they give you this little tiny knob put on there. This is only a depth adjustment for cutting rabbets. Normally you do not use it. Unfortunately, this screw hole is the same as this one, so it kind of gives you the illusion that you could move this to the other side, but it just won't work. Take that off. You can leave it assembled like this for storage, and I would not leave this knob on there if I didn't have the pins on it. It could vibrate off. One less thing to worry about. I recommend you use that little jack stand. It could help you at some point. It's a safety feature. This is a cover that allows you to replace the belt. If you use it enough to wear out the belt, you probably should have bought a better tool because you're using it more than light duty, which is what this is meant for. If you go to change these blades, you absolutely should wear heavy gloves. At least to start out, they're razor sharp. So if you've ever changed planer blades, it's the same way. You loosen these nuts. That allows the planer blade to come off. You put the new planer blade back in, you tighten these nuts, you replace them. Now to line them up back to our straight edge, the tip of the blade should be in line with this back plate. The back plate is not movable, so when you move across this, you hit the wood and the transition from front to back cuts, so this needs to be level with this. So turn it straight up, get the tip at the same level as this. And they actually are right now. Mine are pretty good. Those are the tiniest blades. I'm used to joiner blades, which are, you know, 1/2 inch thick. Might be 1/4 of an inch. I don't think it is, but it might be 1/4 of an inch. So very small blades. Now, funny thing with the blades, the Drill Master, the Central Electric, and the Bauer are all going to use the same blades. If you get the off-brand at Harbor Freight, and saying off-brand at Harbor Freight is saying a lot right there, they're $4 and they're discontinued. The Bauer brand, which is the same knives, they're $6. Okay, so how does it actually work? Well, I don't see myself using this to cut a rabbit. In my opinion, there's a lot better ways to cut a rabbit than this. Okay, it's got a safety. I cannot pull this without holding this. And I don't necessarily like that click. That seems like that's something that's going to break over time. We'll find out. It has this little dust collector bag, and there's a bar in there that keeps coming loose. You have to keep putting it back on. If you go inside of this, it presses in that hole right there. But in my opinion, it doesn't go in enough. Notice I said my opinion. Don't forget to zip it back up or wasting your time. So it hangs like that. Works pretty good. There's 2 clips. The clips are on top and bottom, and the slots are on top and bottom. So on this one, I had to turn the bag around just a little bit. Turn that bar around so it hangs just like that. If it's a little off center, it's not going to matter, but it's brute force. And it hurts your hand. Kind of digs into your hand. There you go. So let's plug it in and give it a shot. If you point the switch to that side, it sends the sawdust out this side. You can see you can see I don't trust the kickstand. I waited till it powered down before I put it up there. Now that was one little cut, and that may be 10% full. Okay, so if you feel that, if you get a little bit of snipe at the beginning, it's that balance. You got to put even balance all the way down, but I put a little bit more balance on it first, and then as it engages the wood, then I kind of shift the majority of the balance to the back, but I keep pressure on both. So I'll go down through there, very smooth, no problems. Tiny bit of snipe right there at the end, and that is more the way that I've held it. Keep even pressure till the end, and I put more back here. It should just slide right off the end with no snipe. Ability to cut this wood without snipe is going to be directly proportional to how much experience you have. The more you use the tool, the more you'll get accustomed to using it, understanding how it works. You'll see how the movement that you make affects the cut, and you'll start adjusting that. So practice on a piece of scrap wood so that you don't run your good wood like a door. If you're trying to trim a door, don't start out trimming the door, or you're going to get some snipe, and it might not be a perfect cut. So practice makes perfect. It'll make you more comfortable with the tool. Okay, so if you like the videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.